Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning-ish. It's been 2 solid days of purging and sitting in the nothingness. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I have talked about it in a good few videos, but it's always useful to have the reminder. On a Kundalini awakening. So it's now 3.5 years for me that I've been going through these cycles. And it's difficult because every inclination in you is to grab hold of something when you're being sucked down into the emotional realm and into kind of like a dark, low vibe, and you want to hold on to dear life for anything. And the best thing to do is the opposite of what you think. Because your thinking mind is, I would have in the past had, this is when you take a pharmaceutical, or this is when you take a cigarette, or this is when you take a shot of tequila, or this is when you smoke a joint. This is when you do this. This is when you do anything. Distract, watch television, call a friend. And instead, what I've been doing is the opposite of that, which goes against pretty much every indoctrination I ever had growing up, which was to not wallow in it, get over it, and not feel it, avoid the feeling at all costs. Because a lot of us, in fact, I would say the mass majority of us humans, just by the way that not only do I observe myself, but observe other individuals and then see society as a whole, is this whole idea of emoting is something that the majority of us have been robbed of. That as a whole, society gaslights people over and over and over again is one of the truths that has been, shown to me so much, because on a societal level, we're told if we have emotions or a lot of emotions or extreme emotions that we're disordered. Instead of being told, oh, maybe you're going through a Kundalini awakening and you're purging, which is a natural part of the process. We're not told that. We're told you've got a disorder, and we're told that you should get up, you should go for a walk, you should distract yourself. A well-meaning friend might should you. Even though their intention is good, but nobody generally in society says, well, things are changing now with the awakening, but for the most part, the way that I was raised was not like, oh, you should go sit in that for like 3 days and see how you feel after that. They're like, oh, it's been longer than an hour, maybe you should distract yourself, maybe you should go for a walk, maybe you should do this or do that, as in, hurry this process up and snap out of it, because I'm uncomfortable with it. And that's what it comes down to, is people can only hold space for people if they themselves have held space for themselves, if they have learned. And so as children, we're not encouraged to, although things are changing, but when I was a child, I certainly was not encouraged to emote, by no means. In fact, the opposite. I was physically punished for it, emotionally neglected for it, and ridiculed or bullied or made fun of for it. So It was never safe to learn to emote. And so finding safety over the last 2 years on the awakening for sure has been the primary objective of my awakening, because my awakening went dark. It went very, very dark. And I know I'm not the only one that has gone through those dark times. Like, I was in spiritual crisis 2 years ago, at the same time as discovering some horrific truths about the man that I was married to at the time. So, which caused massive, massive upset. And that was on top of, legal battles and health, chronic pain, and so much was going on, and spiritual gifts coming online. And so it went way to the seventh depth of hell. Was where I at. So I've been climbing my way out on a shoestring, is how it feels, trying to learn how to regulate safety in my body again whilst having a Kundalini awakening. And so what the Kundalini is doing is purifying and clearing out all of those emotions, those traumas throughout my lifetime, because I wasn't allowing myself to feel them. Before, if I had a feeling, I would have been afraid of the feeling, or I would have gotten panicked because of the anxiety, so it would have just exacerbated into a worst case scenario of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need antidepressants. Oh my God, which was the worst mistake I ever made in my entire life. Well, one of them. And the reason I say that is because it numbed me past the point of being able to recognize that my dysregulation in my body, the stress in my body, was doing everything in its power, screaming at me to tell me to get out of an abusive situation. And I negated listening to it by repressing those emotions through the use of primarily antidepressants in the last 7-8 years. So I very strongly regret going on them, and the going off of them was an incredibly difficult process because first, to clear your body of those types of medications, and I was on Cymbalta, was the one that I was on, and it took a very, very, very long time to get off of that. And then once off of that, it took a very, very long time to start regulating myself. So I had my Kundalini. So my spiritual awakening began in 2019, and then I had a spontaneous Kundalini after a twin flame activation in 2021. And it was right around that time that Spirit was like, you need to get off these meds. So I started weaning myself off of them at the end, in and around October 2021 is when I started the weaning process, which took me about 10 months to get off. But I had already started the purging. So I had already started the purging that was happening regardless of the fact that I was still on these meds. And then once I got off the meds and were off the meds for an extended period of time, the purging got worse and worse and worse. And of course, there's been so many temptations through the last 3.5 years to be like, oh, you need meds, or oh, you need cannabis, or oh, you need something, because I quit one thing after another. I quit them all, because anything that was blocking me from functioning the way just a normal human, is supposed to function, I cleared out. I quit. So that was quitting a lot of things, addictions, coping strategies that were, maladaptive, but they were all I had at the time. And learning how to emote. I had to teach myself how to emote. And how do we emote? We literally sit in it. So my bedroom here, which includes my studio space over there, my bed behind you that my cat is on, and my yoga mat on the floor, this is my monastery. And when I'm going through a purge stage, and it comes in cycles, I'm like virtually trapped in here, and I don't have a lot of human interaction with people other than, I might have a quick conversation with my soul kids or something in the kitchen if we pass each other while I'm making more tea, because I'm not eating a lot. I don't eat a lot during a purge. I will have my smoothie, and I will make myself herbal teas, and I will make myself water, especially now because I have a mild infection that I'm also fighting. So that also comes into it. Sometimes you've got physical stuff going on at the same time as you've got emotional purges going on. So, I'm trying to flush my kidneys right now as best I can. And just allowing myself to do nothing. And nothing is harder than doing something. It's way harder than doing something. Mastering nothing, so that you're not running to anything. And one of the last vestiges of like desperate holding on to is social media for me. It's how I connect to the world. So, putting the phone down and saying, listen, I'm not going to pick it up for an hour. And, so I'm not like scrolling or anything like that. So instead, I'm just in it. I'm just feeling it. And it is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. This Kundalini awakening. It's incredibly difficult. The natural impulse is to fight and to avoid at all costs feeling it. And the mind fights you as well because it gets confused. I get really confused when I'm going through a purge, and I get really sometimes panicked and paranoid. What's happening to me, what's going on, what's happening in the world. My brain can so it's a constant process of bringing myself back into presence, into the present moment, into the now, and finding safety in the now as my body goes through these releases that are being cleared out for me, and ultimately, is for my highest and greatest good, even though while you're in it, it may not feel like it. And so, I've said in previous videos that it does seem to be like tapering out a little bit. They're not as extreme, the purges now, although they're still painful. There is still pain involved. Last night was a very painful night. And I just held myself. I just held myself. A lot of people have told me that my videos and my sharing my story has helped them in their own awakening, and I'm grateful for that. That it gives my life a little bit greater meaning, especially through this process, because in a lot of ways I can see now that I have been prepping for this mission of sharing my awakening, prepping for this awakening for 30 years. And I'm glad that I have all these tools, tricks, and strategies up my sleeve. And I still even, desperately go looking for new information when new stuff happens to me. And, I know I'm not alone in this. This is a collective. So to know that through my experience of this crazy journey, and it is crazy, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy, yet it's also incredibly brutal and painful, but at the same time, it's miraculous and beautiful and full of so much love. I never in a million years could have dreamt this up. And reading it in a book wouldn't give it justice. When you start to truly have the felt experience of what is, in my case, a twin flame activated spiritual awakening, because that comes with a whole layer of other stuff that is beyond confusing. To love and to experience the love that comes with a twin flame journey, that's like this endless, unconditional love that flows towards another human being, wherever they are in the world, because there's this period of separation, and that's what triggered it for me last night. It was just, I was missing this person, something fierce. I haven't seen them in years, and my heart was exploding in a million tiny little pieces. Just, I hope they're happy. I hope they're well. I hope they I miss them. And that's okay, because if you find yourself on a twin flame journey, I think we need to talk about this journey from the perspective of those going through it, as opposed to, the majority of people out there you see as like twin flame experts and things like that. I don't know if I always resonate with everything that's said in that regard. So I'm going to just speak from my own experience and say, what a crazy, crazy journey. You meet somebody and it just, it's magic. It starts this magical process that is a Kundalini awakening. And somehow they leave an indelible imprint on your heart that makes them unforgettable. Unforgettable. Well, if he's watching ever, thank you. I miss you. I love you. I hope you are well. Thank you. Thank you. As the Ho'oponopono prayer says, thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. And thank you. I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you all so much love, especially if you happen to be on this crazy journey with me, and then you understand. I call it, purges that are twinny, because it just, whoa. It's all kinds of crazy. It's all kind of crazy, but it's beautiful. That's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. All right. I'm kind of not really here, so I'm going to go back to my nothingness until there's nothing left in there. And I'm sending you all my absolute love. Peace out.